recorded. Please sign in if you have not done so. Please stand for pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Danny, would you read the minutes from the last meeting?
Board of Trustees of Harlan Township met in special session this 22nd day of January 2025 at regular meeting place of 8276 State Route 132. Trustees Edward Prudzinski and Marcus Shelton present. Meeting called to order by Mr. Prudzinski at 7 p.m. Mr. Prudzinski asked all present to stand and say Pledge of Allegiance. Minutes read from special session January 8th. 2025. We'll need to approve minutes at next meeting when Mr. Kern is present. Chief Pegram discussed a proposed fire levy, Resolution 012225-1. Mr. Shelton made a motion declaring it necessary to levy an additional tax to in excess of the 10 mil limitation and to proceed with submission of the question of the tax to the electors, seconded by Mr. Prudzinski. Roll call, Mr. Prudzinski, yes. Mr. Shelton, yes. Mr. Mason supplied trustees a copy of the technology update from Unified Technology. After discussion, Mr. Shelton made a motion to approve computer upgrade to replace current server with cloud-based system for $15,392.31, seconded by Mr. Prudzinski. Cost of upgrade will be split between the general and fire funds. Mr. Mason, Mr. Kern, and Larry Burchett started working on a list of roads for repairs for 2025. Also discussed possibility of doing a mastic ceiling. Mr. Mason reported the AED was installed at Butlerville Building with assistance from Jeff Algren and Bright Acres. We had no old business, new business. Mr. Shelton received a letter from the Baker Sampson family requesting to sell back cemetery lots to township located at Wesley Chapel. After discussion, Mr. Prudzinski made a motion to refund full amount of 9 cemetery lots that was paid in 2024, seconded by Mr. Shelton. Mr. Shelton gave letters to Ms. Williams at meeting for refunds and new deed for 1 lot to replace deeds from 2024. Mr. Prudzinski discussed the Ohio Township Association conference to be held January 29th through the 31st. Mr. Prudzinski made a motion to pay expenses for elected officials and part-time or full-time township employees associated with attending the Ohio Township Association Winter Conference, seconded by Mr. Shelton. Mr. Prudzinski will be meeting with possible new architect for drawings for remodel at Station 81 on January 23rd, 2025. We had no community comments. Ms. Williams gave written financial report to trustees. Mr. Prudzinski made a motion to pay bills, seconded by Mr. Shelton. We had no correspondence. Mr. Shelton made a motion to adjourn, seconded by Mr. Prudzinski. Meeting adjourned at 7:26.
Do you have any corrections?
I have none.
Have none.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of read.
Second?
Now we need a approval for the 8th that was read at the last meeting.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the minutes from January the 8th, 2025.
Can I second that?
Yes, you need to second that. You're the only one that can't second that one. Okay, so I need Ed to sign both, Kevin on the 8th, Mark on the 22nd. Got that?
Yeah. Backtrack.
Mr. Peter, are you ready for your report?
Absolutely. So, fire and EMS report. For January, we had a total of 44 incidents that we responded to or were dispatched for. 11 were fire calls, 18 EMS calls that were handled by Harlan Township Fire Rescue. We did have 14 EMS calls that were handled by mutual aid departments with 44%, and 1 motor vehicle accident, fire and EMS response. A couple updates and then a couple of requests tonight. First one is just an update on grants. So in researching grants and other funding sources, it's my intention to apply for several grants through the spring. First priority will be to continue the process of replacing our extrication tools. As you know, we've already ordered a set of battery-powered rescue tools using donations and fundraising money that the fire company had on hand, as well as the LOAD grant. So those tools are on order. We should be getting those later this month, but we still need to upgrade Engine 82 and buy some other pieces and parts. So I'll be looking at 2 different grants to try to secure funding for rescue tools. One is the Firehouse Subs grant, which opens in April. We can apply for up to $10,000. And then the Leary Foundation Firefighter Grant opens May 5th, and we can apply to up to $25,000. So I'll be working on those grant applications for those purposes. Then separately, FM Global does a grant quarterly for fire prevention specific items. Familiar with this at Goshen Township, they got a grant to buy iPads to use for fire inspections and other fire code and fire prevention specific programs. So I'll be looking to go for a grant to buy similar equipment so we can ramp up our fire pre-planning and inspection program at Harlan Township and do so electronically using the iPads. And just to note that the software that we would do the inspections and all that stuff and run on the iPad, the county provides for us free. It's the same software that we use for our fire and EMS reporting. So there's no additional cost to that. Next item is the Ohio EMS grant. We actually submitted our application today. This is commonly known as the seatbelt grant. So a portion of all the seatbelt tickets written in Ohio fund annual training and equipment grants for EMS departments. It's basically, if you apply, you automatically get it. We just don't know how much we'll get. We'll learn that later this year, but that has been submitted on our behalf. And then we do currently have a FEMA SAFER grant for recruitment and retention program at Harlan Township. It's been very successful. The grant program for SAFER on the side of hiring of firefighters will open up here soon. And so once we have a little bit more information, I'll come back and talk to the board, but I'd like to just, alert you that there may be an opportunity to apply for a grant that could help pay and offset the cost of hiring part-time firefighters and EMTs. So when that opportunity comes forward in the next 30 to 60 days, I will let you know. Any questions on grants? Appreciate it. So we're going to host a health and safety fair for Harlan Township on Saturday, April 4th from 9 to 1. The event will be hosted at Station 81 for residents, specifically geared towards seniors, but it will be open to anybody and we'll have something for everybody to do. Jeff Holtgren has stepped up and volunteered to help coordinate what is commonly referred to in many organizations as community risk reduction, or CCR. The goal is to connect our residents with community resources. We had a meeting last week with Warren County Senior Services. They're going to help coordinate the event as well. And we'll have staff on site reviewing and signing people up for programs like their Meals on Wheels program, emergency pendant program, and other programs that the county has for seniors. We're also inviting Adult Protective Services, the Warren County Sheriff's Office, Warren County EMA, Health Source of Ohio, and our 9 Lincoln Auxiliary will be assisting with some food. And the fire department will staff booths as well with information about fire prevention, medical evaluations for people, et cetera. So it's just an opportunity for people to come in and find out about all those resources that are available to our community. And we'll have more about that here very soon. The firehouse exhaust system, the quote for parts only for the exhaust system repairs, the firehouse came back at $4,622. We believe the labor will range in the $800 to $1,000 to replace the motor as well as the other repairs necessary. The Permanent Improvement Fund, which is the money that can only be used for capital repairs or improvements to Station 81, currently has an unencumbered balance of just over $500,000. So I recommend we use this fund as the repairs are directly related to the renovations we will be doing at Station 81 later this year to add bunk rooms and showers. So the first request of the night would be a motion to approve up to $6,000 for the repairs to Station 81's apparatus bay exhaust system using funds from the Permanent Improvement Fund 4301.
Do you have that motion from you, Kenny? I'll make the motion.
Second.
Next item is, we have several items in and around the firehouse that are no longer needed, have already been replaced, but require the board of trustees to declare surplus so we can sell or donate those items. So those items are the expired self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA. We have expired turnout gear, several old computers and mobile data computer mounts for vehicles. And once we get the new rescue tools, we'll have some older rescue tools to dispose of. So the next request tonight is a motion to declare surplus and sell on the online government auction site, govdeals.com, surplus SCBA, turnout gear, computer, MDC mounting brackets, and Hurst rescue tools.
I will make that motion.
Second.
Let me use your roll call. So next item is the purchase of a pickup truck, as we've discussed at previous meetings, and I know I sent the board a pretty lengthy plan on vehicles. The idea is to start purchasing a pickup truck every other year and then rotate the pickup trucks through being used as chief vehicles or staff vehicles. And then eventually we will transition them into brush trucks by putting the skid unit, which is the actual pump and tank that for the brush truck, they're interchangeable. You can remove them and move them to a new vehicle. Basically, the goal being is over time, it'll take about 12 years for us to implement this plan. But currently, between staff vehicles and brush trucks, we have 8 vehicles. Our goal is to reduce that down to 6. Purchase 1 vehicle every 2 years, and it will serve about 6 to 8 years frontline as a chief's vehicle or a first responder vehicle, and then it will be transitioned to a brush truck. So we'll be reducing the size of the fleet, thereby reducing the cost of insurance, maintenance, repairs, and that sort of thing, and keeping those vehicles into a newer vehicle. And then we will also be selling a vehicle every 2 years as well. So the proposal before you tonight is to start that process. Again, to fully implement this is going to take 12 years. But the first motion of 3, one is to appropriate the money, then to purchase the vehicle, and then to dispose of the 2009 Ford Expedition once that comes in. So, any questions before I read on?
Is this government pricing?
So it is fleet pricing. It is not state bid pricing, but it's comparable. We are not required to bid if it's under $75,000.
Right.
So the price we got from them is $8,000 under retail. So if we bought the identical truck off the lot, it would cost us $8,000 more as a private citizen. So it's basically $8,000 discount.
And did you want to kind of hit on why were you and I kind of email back and forth about the cancer?
Oh yeah, so there's also a move. So a lot of our vehicles that we currently have are like Tahoe style SUVs, and there's been a lot of research done and a lot of information currently on firefighter cancer. So statistically, more firefighters actually get sick and die of cancer than all other forms of accidents or injuries on the fire ground. So a lot of organizations, ourselves included, are doing a lot of things and changing tools, equipment, procedures to reduce cancer risk. Everything from washing turnout gear more often to keeping those things. That's why we have the exhaust system. Part of the reason we have the exhaust system in the firehouse, so the CO and the cancer-causing carcinogens aren't going into the fire station. So a lot of organizations forever, started out using station wagons back in the day when a station wagon was a thing, and you put all the chief kept all his gear in the backs, and then that transitioned to SUVs, Explorers, Tahoes, Suburbans. But what they found is that if you go to a fire and you fight fire for an hour or two and all the gear is crummy and dirty, and then you put that in your car, the gear is actually still off-gassing those carcinogens. So there's now a recommendation that we don't keep that gear in an automobile, so not keeping it in the trunk or in the vehicle. So a lot of organizations are making the transition to a pickup truck style vehicle so that the gear, SCBA, dirty tools, any of that stuff is in the bed of the truck and not exposing our employees, our firefighters, to those carcinogens. So this accomplishes that goal as well. So first item would be a motion to appropriate $57,355 in the Fire Fund 2281 for the purchase of the vehicle.
Make the motion to appropriate $57,355 in the fire fund for the purchase of the vehicle.
Second.
The next item would be a motion to purchase a 2025 Chevrolet 2500 pickup truck from McCluskey Chevrolet in the amount of $57,355.
I'll make a motion to purchase a 2025 pickup at 57.
Second.
And then the next item is motion to declare surplus the 2009 Ford Expedition, which is currently what we call the EMS 81 vehicle, upon delivery of the new pickup truck and authorizing the interim fire and EMS chief to sell said vehicle on the online government auction site govdeals.com.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
And just so you know, the lead time for the vehicle is about 90 days. And then upfitting with equipment will take a little bit longer, but I'll bring that to you in a future meeting. And just so you know, it basically the identical truck. We copied this back off of Chief Mason's vehicle. So it should be basically the identical truck.
3 times improvement, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah.
That was a while.
We've been on the international one year and a half, 2 years.
International was almost 2 years.
So, yeah, they said 90 to 120 days, but they think they can get it in 90 days. Next item, board, is a request for out-of-town travel and reimbursement for training. I'm requesting the board of trustees approve out-of-town travel for me to attend the Ohio Fire Chiefs Winter Conference in Columbus, March 11th and 12th. The cost is $150 plus 1 night hotel. Currently, I'm just requesting only reimbursement for the registration, which I've already prepaid for $150. So the board action requested would be a motion to approve out-of-town travel for Chief Pegram to attend the Ohio Fire Chiefs Winter Conference in Columbus, Ohio, March 11th and 12th, and reimburse Chief Pegram the $150 registration fee.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And then the last couple of things are just updates. All the required paperwork for the levy was submitted. We did get certification back from the Board of Elections. The Friends of Harlan Township Fire Rescue is still an organization that exists and is registered with the Board of Elections to serve as a levy campaign fund. So that's where we can receive donations as well as purchase any levy-related materials. So we're ramping up for that levy campaign. Rescue tools should probably be here the 3rd week in February, and it will include training for our personnel from the manufacturer rep. We had several cars delivered today, junk cars that we'll be using for that training, and then those will get to go back to the junkyard. Both of our ambulances have power lift ambulance cots. The power lift cots require annual inspection and maintenance, and both Squad 81 and 82 cots were serviced and inspected without any issues this past Tuesday. And then just to let the board know, we did have one of our volunteers was involved in a deer strike accident. No injuries, but there is damage to his personal vehicle. Report and pictures were forwarded to our insurance company. And that's my report for tonight.
A question, on that, system to extract the CO2. I saw the labor was kind of lower. What we had to replace a motor?
Replacing a motor, and then there's some, Jeff, pipe in if I get it wrong, but some of the louvers that open and close to allow fresh air don't operate correctly.
You've mentioned that before.
Actually, he says he's got them working.
Okay.
But there's a box in the electric room, a switch is bad, broken. They have to replace it. And it's minor compared to the motor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all your cost was in the equipment.
Yeah, and that's, I requested a little bit more just in case, so I didn't have to come back to you again, but we think we're gonna be in that 5,600 range, 5,600 total. Parts and labor.
He's pretty fair.
Yep.
You'll like him.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Mason?
All right, somebody's already got knocked out, I think, but we do need the 2 signed copies of the DOT mileage for 2024. I think, Jen, you got that right?
Should have went to.
It's right here somewhere. All right, there was 3 of them. Yep, that's done. Also, I think this is done as well already. Resolution for Warren County Engineers Rock Salt Program for 25-26. That one good?
No, we need to do that one.
I think it's been. That's not
All right.
Make a motion.
What is
to-
the we've done 750 tons for a
Yeah,
while.
we've always done
It's
750.
always been the same, and we just pay as we go. So we the guys count the scoops and then we get billed as we go, so we don't have to pay delivery of it separately, so we get the same program.
Leave it the same, so.
We might, yeah. That we're not paying for it unless we use it, so. Not broke, don't fix it. When they tell us to do something different, we will. I asked the question, did you want to do something different? She said no. Easy as that.
So you need a motion to approve $750?
We need a resolution.
It's a resolution, so the resolution is 020525-1. I'm waiting on somebody to make the,
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. And now I need a second.
Second.
Now I'm gonna do a roll call. Mr. Brzezinski.
Yes.
Mr. Kern.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Yes.
And catch up on this one, whatever you would like. Have another resolution to participate in the Warren County resurfacing program. Like in the last meeting minutes, Kevin and Larry and I drove around, looked at a few of the roads that Larry and Jeff had identified. There's a cost estimate here sheet that is highlighted, has highlighted columns in it. The Wayne's Way number was just a kind of a fact finding. What would that cost to do this? So we had some comparisons. After talking with Larry and Kevin and Jeff Jones at the county, the plan would be to have our guys do the base repairs. The last column there is the base repairs just on Bentley Mounds for 0.681 miles was going to be $100,000. That did not include any pavement at all. So if they did the whole project, it'd be $141,85 or just over a half mile of roadway. Talking again, jumping here, Kevin, if I'm saying something wrong or.
Well,
Sound
let
good.
our guys do the base repair and pave it for 41,000 base. Go
Yeah.
back to next year, tar chip.
Yes, we've been up at OTA. I was there for a solid 3 hours. I made it before my back went out, but the classes from last year, the one class I made it to this year, talking with the county engineer's office and some other officials around the state. A lot of the amount that we're able to resurface every year is going to be getting lower and lower because of the cost. So all the recommendations that we've heard for townships is everybody is chip sealing. Now they said the downside of that is that's where you get most of the phone calls, because you take a paved road or a based road, leveled road, and leave it for a year. You don't have to, but typically leave it for a year and you come back and chip seal it. So a lot of residents don't know why we're doing that, or, and it does create, you have some dust, you do have some rock chips for a couple of days, why it's kind of getting, before it gets swept. But that's been the recommendation from everybody. Like there are some other options you can do, but they're not exponentially cheaper than paving. Part of this is another part of this as well we'll get to, but with resurfacing, this is just base material. This is not a top coat material for Bentley Mounds. So we'd have to come back. The idea would be to come back in the next year then and chip seal that, either 8s or 9s, probably 8s, to seal that road up. Part of the reasoning for come back and chip sealing, we just resurfaced Fisher Road last year. We leveled it, and we leveled it with top coat material. So when we level it, the middle of the road's higher, so that material's thinner in the middle, and that road's already cracked. I think we had almost $100,000 in Fisher Road. It looks nice, it's resurfaced, but it's already cracked in the middle. It's going to deteriorate very quickly if we don't chip seal. So that's probably going to be on the list of chip seal for 26 as well. We just spent $100,000 on it. So we're not able to keep up with just resurfacing. It doesn't hold up long enough by itself. It just doesn't. So trying to institute a more proactive crack seal program. We've never done crack sealing here. So trying to expand that. So for this resolution, District Park, we would need a resolution to do the wedging and leveling for the 0.681 miles of Bentley Mounds. It's from our Woodville toward the seam where it was paved last time. And that's 41,310.
Make a motion.
Second.
Much of this,
Roll call, Mr. Brzezinski,
Yes.
Mr. Kern.
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
yes. How long is that gonna take our guys to do?
Jeff Jones is going to come out again and kind of mark out some spots. It'll be some of a lengthy project. But we've got, with our guys not mowing, we got 3 guys now, full-time guys. Talking to Larry at length about it, and he said they can get it done. So,
Yeah, I'm sure they can get it done, just trying to get an idea how long it's gonna.
I'm not sure. Material wise, I'm guessing 20,000 material is going to be a high number.
Mhm.
So, saving 70,000, at least 50, that's a conservative number. Our guys doing it.
Right.
And that kind of goes back toward trying to get our guys back toward doing road maintenance and not doing general maintenance with the mowing and other things. So,
Right.
because obviously I don't know how much of this, to me, for a tick over half a mile, $100,000 to level it, and just do base repair seems like a lot. And considering we have 45 road miles, you're looking at, millions and millions of dollars over the course of the next however long which we're not going to have. So, it's,
Larry has a lot of new techniques that he would like to bring to light.
yeah, I got some of that too coming up. So
Yeah.
you're getting ahead of me. So we need this resolution first. We have that dungeon.
We're done.
Perfect. I got distracted.
We're-
What was next? So I'm going to skip one. We'll go down to crack seal bid from J&A Construction. And that was a stapled piece of paper. We got him to come down. He's the company that does the material called mastic. It is a little bit thicker material than what we would use for regular crack sealing. So he came down. We had to look at several different roads. We rode around with him. And after talking, looking, reviewing the bid, again, talking with Kevin and Larry, his recommendation would be to have J&A Construction come down and seal Wayne's Way, which was 60 joints at a cost of $16,425, as well as Fawn and Doe Court for $13,797. Just have those 2 done by J&A Construction.
Now, what is the difference between this mastic and the hard chip?
So the mastic is a crack seal, but it's made for larger cracks. It's more of a rubberized material.
So that's all they're
So
gonna do,
it's-
the crack.
They're just going to do the cracks. Yeah, they're just going to. So it is safe where you have like the 2-inch expansion joints between the pavement gaps. It will fill that, and it'll keep those divots from the road.
Okay.
So Eric was familiar with it from his time at Mason. Mason uses it in their subdivisions quite a bit. It works better in the wider cracks. And they've had some on roads for 10 years, and they looked at those late last year, and they're still holding up pretty well.
You just want them to do these 2, or Wayne's Way,
Yeah,
Fawn, and then Doe.
correct. And then with Larry's, when he was up at OTA, he talked to the manufacturer of the product or the supplier for Ohio. And we were going to look into if we purchase for our other roads, look at maybe trying to get Misty Meadows done, but have our guys do that as well. It's going to depend on how timing goes this summer. The supplier for Ohio, if we purchase the product from them, they will supply the machine to do it at no additional cost. So we don't have to buy any kind of a crack seal machine or anything. Again, in an effort to try to save some money, keep our guys on road projects. So that's my ask is
J&A to do Wayne's Way on
Yes.
the court.
that's great.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I will back up real quick. Would like to place the 2 old John Deere mowers. Get a motion to place those on Gov Deals. as well. We haven't used those in a couple years. They were already needing some repairs. And they're just sitting in the barn deteriorating up at the maintenance 123 building. So I would like a motion to place both those John Deere mowers on gov deals. We'll do it the same way we've done other things where the board approves. We don't set a minimum, but we have to approve before the sale goes through.
What will that leave us with? The grasshopper and
The standard, we'll have the
was that Gravely?
we'll the Gravely standard and then the grasshopper rear discharge. Yeah,
So we'll still have those.
we'll still have two. Yeah, we have 4 currently.
I'll make a motion to place the 2 John Deere mowers on gov deals.
Second.
Back on the crack seal topic, Eric and Larry reached out. They had found a cracked seal. It's basically a very simple roll around tar kettle, essentially. It was $1,430 from Southeastern. There are places around the firehouse. We can't use it on the roads. It rolls pretty easy. You wouldn't want to do miles and miles with it. But since our guys are doing our base repairs now, when we put those patches in, we need to be able to seal around those patches, as well as like around the fire department parking lots getting pretty cracked. So it was a pretty affordable unit. They said they sold a lot of them, so I went ahead and authorized them to purchase that for $1,430, and we have that in already. That came in pretty fast, so it is ready to go. Jay Junior Landscaping reached out to me, and he is interested in doing the mowing again. We've used him for 2 years now, and he is looking at a 3% increase over the previous year. He did not increase any from year 1 to year 2, and I forgot to attach his numbers. Looking at his numbers from his original bid, even at 3%, he's cheaper than the cheapest bid from 2 years ago. So he's done a good job for us. We have a history with him. We've had no issues with grass being overgrown. He's always, he's been on time with it and done a good job for us, kept everything looking nice. So I would request a motion to allow me to sign a contract with Jay Junior for 2025 with a 3% increase over last year.
Make the motion, sign contract J Junior Landscaping for 2025, 3% increase over 2024.
Second.
The last thing I have is
Ed, you did. You I had trouble hearing, sorry.
Our back maintenance building at 123 was the last one up there that was not on the generator. Jeff reached out to Rossman Electric to get a bid on that. Well, around $1,100. It is under the $2,000 threshold, so I went ahead and authorized Rossman Electric to go ahead and plan on hooking that building up. That has all those buildings now up at 123 maintenance are all on the generator. So everything will work. If there's power outage, everything's going to run.
So they hooked the maintenance building up to the generator bound?
The back, the other one already was on one, and then now both those buildings on the left are hooked up.
Basically just lighting and plugs, some plugs.
Right. Yeah.
There, you and Larry had talked to me about some issue a while back up at that building, but I can't remember what it was.
And probably because couldn't figure out how things was wired because you shut the main off and it wouldn't shut things off and what have you. Come to find out it's fed from the station on the generator. Them things is
Okay.
separated, then you got the main for the other stuff.
So you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Thank you, Steve. And those who said,
I have no old business.
Marcus, anything?
We still need to appoint someone to the Woodville Joint Cemetery Board. I talked with Steve about it, and I guess Larry said that he will.
I passed the butter.
He passed the buck. So he's not here tonight, but we can appoint him without him being here. You guys okay with Larry being on the?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right.
I think all three of you should.
All three of us walked. They would wonder what was up if we walked in.
I know. That's why I was saying, because I know Larry's going to do it.
Looks like they're going to have a meeting on February 25th at 7 p.m. at Marion Township Hall, on Westford Road.
Hey, you guys, you can attend it. We need to have somebody actually be on that board. You can text that to Larry. Yep, I'll send it.
Really
Yeah. Do we need to do that in the form of a motion, Jenny?
I'm just gonna say you appointed Larry as the representative.
That Kelly.
That's, I think that's all
Jenny, you got anything?
Not old.
New business? Mr. Kurzinski?
I got a long list.
I want to start.
I'll do one per week or per. I'd like the trustees to really consider, possibly a vault at Edwardsville Cemetery. It would be something like this for ashes. Instead of maybe a road, I think this might alleviate a lot of the burials that we have that kind of pertain to non-casket type burials.
We had talked with Richard about this.
I haven't met with him yet. I just wanted to kind of put it out there, and then I'd like, it's gonna take a lot of time and thinking and
Right,
planning and that.
Richard has already kind of looked into some of this stuff. If
I've
you
got all
would,
kind of paperwork, and I brought home a lot of stuff about it.
pros and cons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that.
For cremains,
Yes.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
above.
we had one at Sims.
I just think it might free up a lot more spaces, and rather than putting in money into maybe a road, if we were to do that, I think that might eliminate the road.
Oh, we're still gonna have to put a road in.
Yeah, people are going to still be wanting to be buried.
That's not gonna
It might
take
put
up
it off a
much.
long time. It might put it off even a couple years.
It's getting pretty tight. Richard, we've been pushing this, and Richard's been staying on us. Have you guys checked the drainage on since you put the line in?
I know Larry has. I checked one time, but I don't know how much it rained when I did. It seemed to help tremendously.
You'll find out here in another month or so, because it's springtime. It's the
We're
worst.
still probably going to have some of them where we think springs are going to be.
Okay.
We think.
I think it's an idea. I think, but
I mean,
talking with
It's something to think about.
Richard, he had some
Yeah.
pros and cons. He had different, wasn't just the above ground. There was benches and stuff we discussed, but kind of need to have that discussion with him. Might have to change some of our rules.
Well, I'll give you what I kind of picked up, and like I said, we can kick it around. You know, there's nothing that has to happen right away, but just something to think about. A lot of the things that I would like to implement throughout 2025, and one would be a records retention policy.
Already have.
And making sure that we have a deadline on that, because, you know, I'm hearing from a lot of the other townships that, you know, if they didn't have a deadline, it created problems down the road.
We've had a record policy for you.
Yeah, I think
I'm just saying that, you know, as far as
It
how
has
long
time
we
limits.
keep it.
It has timelines.
It has, yeah.
Good idea.
It's-
As long as
Yeah,
we
it's,
We can get you a copy of that.
do that. The social media thing, like I said, it was really broad, but that's something to think about. I know that's not something that we're that fluent with right now, and it's still kind of evolving. And probably the biggest thing that I'm really concerned with is going to be our solar implementation or regulation. What I'm told is Claremont County has the top regulations in the state. And if maybe we could emulate them sometime in 2025, as far as our township regulations of 50 megawatts or under, I think that would be good.
No solar. Harlan.
I'm 100% for that. But
We'll make that policy.
it's a very, it's pretty popular right now.
Oh, and it's very
And
popular.
it's popular
And it's gonna die
nationwide,
out.
and
It's gonna die out in a few years.
maybe so, but right now we have to implement something, or otherwise we'll be
Take
dealing
over.
with, we're gonna somebody's just gonna do what they want to do.
We can't really implement it though without Warren County approval.
And
Warren County.
Warren County has 50 and above. And so we can implement our own under 49 megawatts. And supposedly Claremont County they have the pattern. And a lot of people are emulating that.
We still have to go through Warren County on any of that.
They just sign off on it, but we implement it. And townships govern solar, townships govern, what do you call it? THC. We
do?
We do. And we have a lot of responsibilities that really has not come up yet in the township, but we're really
Depends
responsible.
on what kind of township you go.
And I'm telling you,
We can make policy, we can't make law.
we have policy, correct?
That only goes so far though. It doesn't hold up.
A lot of information out there. Like I said, they really pushed that a lot. The solar was the biggest thing this year, I think, and they were talking about spot zoning for everybody that's doing verbos or, zoning basically. But I don't really think that's something that applies to us. I think that's more of a residential area. It's not really us yet. But I thought the thing that really applied to us the most was the solar. So, I'd like to look more into that.
No, I think you're right. I like the path you're
We're either
on.
gonna shove it down our throat or we're gonna have something in
Right.
place to regulate it.
Right.
And, if it takes us all year, that's fine, but we kind of need to have something in place to work with. More work for Steve.
Yeah. Now, wait a minute. This is your idea.
Well, he skipped the class.
Oh, that's right. I had a good excuse.
I was at the class.
Yeah, as far as this goes, if you can meet with
Think
Richard,
about that.
because he had a bunch of different information and it's been a while.
I've
so-
got like all kinds of stuff. They've promoted this quite a bit. I can't say that it's a good fit, but I thought, that'd be something to consider. It might make us more money technically. Because we're gonna consolidate a lot of stuff that's taking up space
Mhm.
into a smaller area. And I was thinking maybe if we didn't we spent the money on this versus a road, that might buy us some time. That might buy us, 2 or 3 years. But no, as far as new business, I went to the Ohio Township Association seminar. Again, I really liked it. It's very informative. I was in a lot of zoning classes and actually running a meeting, and there's a lot of information. It's very, very informative. Really enjoyed it. As long as I'm involved in this, I'll be going every year. That's all I have.
August, new. Jenny,
Yeah. Received a letter from the Greater Warren County Drug Task Force, their annual request for a contribution. And they're requesting this year $4,929. I have a letter here if you guys want to see it.
You know what we gave last year, Jenny? Did we
I
do this
believe
one?
we gave them the full amount last
Was
year.
He is in charge of the building department now. The guy that came here from the drug task force that gave us our little,
He comes every year.
he's in charge of the building department now. He's got a new job.
Well, this is from the 7th of January and it's signed by Steve Aersmith.
Maybe he's going to.
No, that wasn't the guy that came here, was it?
Steve?
Steve?
Oh, there's somebody that does come with him though.
Yeah, there's a bald guy that came with him,
Most of them.
and he's in charge of the building department.
Oh, Jenny.
Wait a
You
minute.
mean to say that.
What did you say? Both of them?
A lot of
Most
people
them? All
do
of them?
that.
You say all of them?
Ed, look in the mirror.
I got a roundabout.
Oh,
What's with the?
you guys get, do we look okay to give the full amount this year, Jenny?
I'm sorry, what?
Do we look okay to give the full amount?
Yes.
All right, then I'll make a motion, we give.
I'll second.
I did Jenny on the new.
Yes.
I have new business. Is there a way we can give our guys a boot allowance if they're gonna be running around in tar and mass tech and all this other jazz, fixing these roads.
We
Jeff, Larry,
We've
Eric.
done a boot reimbursement before, but we approved like up to an amount.
Did you say food? Cause they never.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I was like, food, food, why are we paying
He'll
for
always put out
food?
So we do. Reimbursement.
We have.
We might
We
get
have.
involved, but we're not that.
We don't have a policy
It's
where
not
we
in
do it every year,
policy,
but
okay.
anytime they're messing in asphalt and tar,
Okay.
we'll usually do, I don't know what boots are going for now. Sport boots.
I last time I went, they just went over there and,
That was the one.
yeah, just got something.
I can tell you
Not
where I
six
work,
months.
they're maxed out at $100 is all they.
$100.
That's all they'll
They won't
do
even
at
get you
work.
maybe a Walmart pair.
Yeah.
I don't
They
think
get
you'll
some
get
of
to
them.
that.
Yeah, you won't get $100.
I don't think you'll get that there.
at least two.
We
Yeah,
get
I was supposed to
600
take
a year.
$100.
At
Why don't we
least
What you get.
We get 600 a year.
What?
600.
I'll say.
Boots you wear 'em out, done?
I do a lot of running around there.
You guys good with up to 300?
So are
Yeah.
you sending them somewhere to get these, or are they going to submit a receipt to me for reimbursement?
So they submit a receipt to Steve and Steve can give you the receipt.
The
Put the names
maximum
on it.
$300.
Do you want me to write a policy for that?
And I want to make sure that we send a, tax exempt with them when they go get it, cause that'll save us money on that.
I'll type some up for next meeting. I'll have a policy and we'll have something.
Okay.
So we don't have to go back and look at the minutes from 2 years ago. Remember what we said? What is put in the
You get me a
the employee handbook?
Look, I can't even afford to buy a pair of boots. Here's. For intelligence.
Community comments. Miss Bridget?
Yep.
Okay.
I gave Jenny a event rental for September. A lot of the teachers from the elementary school, when they were here, get together to do bunco. I guess it is a dice game. I learned what bunco was. So they'll be coming back out later to get their code and set up the gym and all of that, but that will be in September. With it being a new year, events are gonna start rolling around. The tractor show, I was told we are making for March 10th this year,
May.
or May. It says May. It says May. May 10th.
See, I'm not the only.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As of right now, I'll be reaching back out to Brian Likens. That's who I worked with last year to see if there are any changes. I know last year the tractor ride kind of messed up how many tractors were here. I felt our first year we had more tractors stationary versus last year we maybe had 5 or 6. So that's a concern I'll be bringing to them, just because when the kids come, they actually like to see the tractors and not necessarily the tractor ride.
That's why they're moving it back to May. The first year we had it in May, the tractor rides in June every year, Father's Day weekend, so.
They're saying this one's not gonna have a tractor
No, they
ride.
won't have a tractor ride.
Okay,
It's just gonna be-
well, I'm working on the flyer and I kind of went off of last year, so I'll just have to get with him to see. So are they, what part are they still having in this then? Like they're just showing up with the
They
tractors?
show up with their tractors.
Okay. Cause last year they did like the ice cream thing and
Yeah,
whatnot, so
asked
I,
him, he said they were gonna do the ice cream, whatever you wanted to do, got food trucks or whatever.
okay.
You'll bring us flyers on that whenever they're.
Yep, I started them now. I just needed to know what it was obviously going on it. But if it's up to me, I guess I'll just make something up and send it over and they can tell me yes or no. And then the old school cruising, to leave right now, we're looking at June 21st. I know this one's kind of been a little bit of everybody involved. I reached out to 9 Lincoln. They have no interest in doing it. So I guess we're kind of up in the air with who's going to be taking control of this event. Obviously, Bright Acres does not mind. The only thing is we have no old car people that we know. So finding somebody to help get the cars in is not our strong suit.
Take care of that.
So, okay,
What are you looking at that? June what?
June 21st.
So
So just FYI.
Tell me this again. You're looking for somebody to bring in or to run the event.
Yes. We do not care to run it. We just don't have connections
the car
to reach
people.
out to people. Yeah, we don't have car people. At the end of the day, me and April don't have old car people.
Hang on a second.
Midwestern Children's Home is hosting a car show on June 7th.
That's fine.
Just FYI.
That's cars and coffee, or was
Oh, is that the one you sent me?
Yeah.
The cart?
because we don't
Yeah.
want to do it the same weekend.
Yeah,
because
no.
That pulls away from your car show.
Correct. Correct. Well, that's why we're hoping to get our dates out sooner this year, because I do feel like that was a big downfall last year, is we were waiting way too late to start advertising a lot of these. So if we can get our dates locked down, maybe we can put a whole thing together with the whole summer of what's coming up, and everybody can have that from the get-go instead of just waiting.
You have hours on that.
I don't yet. I know the past couple years, we feel like the hours were a little too long. We felt like a lot of the times the people were leaving like a good hour or two before the event was over. So we don't have any set times for any of them yet.
Yeah, if you go too long, it just.
Yeah, it fizzles out. Yes, we learned that. Bright Acres will be having their Christmas in July on July 26th. That's the craft show. We've done very, very, very well the past couple of years with that. So we're very excited for them to be putting that on again. The carnival, we are moving back this year too. We are looking at September 6th. The reason for this is we felt, for one, we had our Christmas in July, and then we had a week, and then we had our carnival. So it was two big events back to back for Bright Acres. We also ran into a lot of end of the year sports stuff and the beginning of the year school stuff. So we figured if we push it back, let everybody get settled in back to school, this, that, and the other, we might have a better turnout with that. So as of right now, we're looking at September 6th for that. And then we will be hosting a trunk or treat again here. We're not sure what date yet, because again, that was another thing we ran into with football. So we're kind of up in the air with that date. But then we will also be doing our breakfast with Santa December 6th, which that will stay the first Saturday of December every year. So as of right now, those are the events we have laid out for the township and Bright Acres.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Any comments?
Those we're talking events, are they doing the fish fry? Are they doing the fish fry this year?
Planned.
Okay.
Good Friday.
Good Friday.
Okay. And having turkey later in October?
Let's just go with fish fry and then we'll just,
Okay.
we'll get over the first bridge.
Well,
and
she
then we'll
wanted
cross
things
it.
on the calendar. So put them on the calendar.
We haven't got there yet. so
Okay, all right.
Anybody else?
Levy fish fry and then we'll worry about,
Gotcha.
we'll get there.
I have a motion to pay the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Correspondence, Jenny?
If you guys want to see this, but I need it back, so the broadcast force, and then we did get something wrong like that. I have a copy. I'll send it Ed.
I could
You
email
have,
it.
I'm gonna say, probably have an email. You'll take care of it? Okay.
What are you sending me now?
You started it.
Charges. And so,
Workers retention.
let's get the
Oh, we didn't have. We do.
No, if we didn't say we didn't have it, it's building as far as going over to make sure that we have it shorter, the short time span on it.
Haven't seen anything.
A lot of townships are complaining saying, we're asking for these records that are way, we had to modify our records retention to be able to have it cut off.
Okay.
And so we only go to the minimum.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a